I think one of the things that I'm most excited about with Dragon's Dogma 2 is to understand how these two races and their kingdoms are going to interact between the two. Because we do have the option in character creation, as we've seen from the character creator in storage preview, to create either a human or a beastren. And they both have distinctly different lore backgrounds, and I don't know how much that's going to play into the factions of the world and how people interact with your main character. But just to be on the safe side, it's probably a good idea to get ourselves up to speed on all things related to the races of Dragon's Dogma 2. So if we go in here to their website, on the world page, we actually get some lore tabs where we're told about some of the characters and the lore behind them. So on the one hand, we have humans who come from Vermund, the kingdom of humanity, and then we have the beastren who come from Battahl, which is an entire nation built to those. So let's read through this here. It says the humans come from the kingdom of humanity, Vermund. It says this is a kingdom where the Arisen rules as king. It is the first nation the protagonist explores. Built on a lush green land, the king and nobles reside within the kingdom's fortified city. The town where the commoners reside sprawls around the castle. Currently, the Queen Regent Disa supports a false Arisen. This is the scene of many conspiracies to seize the throne. So this is going to be where we take... well, I would assume that if you're human, you're going to be spending a lot of your early days here. What's interesting, it says... it is the very first nation the protagonist explores. So does that mean even if you start a beastren, you're also going to be starting in Vermund? I don't know. That kind of sounds like that's the case. So I'm going to assume that is until I hear otherwise. We also get mentioned. Well, we'll back up to the elves here in a minute. Then we have Battahl, the nation of beastren. Says this is a nation defined by its own unique culture. The steep canyons of Battahl still hold ancient ruins, and cities have been constructed amidst them. The culture, customs, and beliefs of Battahl have been nurtured by the harsh natural environment and differ from those of Vermund. In Battahl, pawns are seen as the source of misfortune, and instead of the Arisen, the citizens worship the lambent flame to ward off calamity, which impress Nadinia at its center. I really like the look and feel of their hometown as well. One of the reasons I'm looking into the difference between these two different races in Dragon's Dogma 2 is I'm trying to determine what do I want to play as for my first playthrough. Do I want to play the traditional human who comes from a land where the Arisen and pawns are considered just a part of normal existence and they're just accepted for who they are? And if that's the case, am I, as the true Arisen, am I fighting against the false Arisen that the Queen Regent is unknowingly supporting? Or is she knowingly supported and going along for other nefarious reasons? I don't know yet. Or am I going to play one of the beastrens and dive into this culture of magic and a completely different mindset than the humans, viewing the pawns as this source of evil and the Arisen as not necessarily someone who's that important. So my other question in that regards is, if you're playing as a human Arisen, how much impact does that have on your exploration of their kingdom? Which, going back to, I forget the name of it. I'm gonna have to learn all these names now. Battahl. Like, how much of that is impacting your exploration of Battahl? And then the other question I have is, out of these two kingdoms, how much time are we spending in each? Because it does say that you're spending the early days, it says in the first nation your protagonist explores is Vermund. So it kind of looks a lot like what we saw in the first Dragon's Dogma game in terms of art style and everything else. But then we're going to be exploring Battahl as well. And are we going to be exploring each one of these kingdoms equally, or is it going to be like 75% Vermund and only 25% Battahl? I don't know yet. And also the other question I have is, when you start your character, I remember in the first game, in Dragon's Dogma 1, when you start, you run through that initial area, which is sort of like the backstory, like hundreds of years ago, whatever, however the timeline was. You run through that opening storyline, you play through that quest line, and only after that do you pick up in the modern era, and that's where you run through character creation. Now, in that game, in the first game, everybody was human, so it made sense to have everybody stuck in the same fishing village that you were in. But how is that going to work for this one? Are we dealing with a beastren who is cast off and starts in a human village, or are we getting two different starting areas depending on how you start your game? Because if there's two different starting areas, that means I got to play both, right? Because I got to get the full experience and I got to really understand the roots of my character. Because that's the thing for me. I like to role play, so I need to know everything I can about the backstory of the characters that we're going to be playing, so I know, do I want to support the human cause or do I want to support the beastren cause? I don't have enough information on that yet, so that's what I'm here for. So leading up to launch of Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm going to be continuing to educate myself and hopefully bring it to all of you in an interesting manner as well. So if you liked my video today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update as I continue to research and uncover all the things leading up to the launch of Dragon's Dogma 2, which we will be playing. So hopefully you'll be sticking around for those streams, which happen daily here and on Twitch. There will be a Let's Play series around this, game guides, build guides, and beyond. I'm going to be playing, I believe, a Magic Archer. There's the chance I might go for Warfare, but I'm not exactly sure yet until I get my hands on it and I'm able to check that out. But the plan is to go quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Magic Archer, and right now what I'm just really trying to nail down is which of these races do I want to go with for my starting character. There are going to be elves as well. They've mentioned those in the world lore, but I don't know that those are going to be player characters because they didn't provide them to us in the character creator, but that could end up changing. I don't know, or this could be something where it's a DLC later on down the road. But we also have this place called Sacred Arbor, Home of the Elves. And it says that in addition to the humans and beastren, a race called Elves also inhabit the world. They prefer not to interact with other races and live in the remote village of the Sacred Arbor. The Elves speak their own language, makes communication with them difficult, but there seems to be some pawns who understand Elvish. I love the art style that's being shown in this image here. Given the fact that we didn't see them in a character creator preview, I'm willing to bet that they're not going to be a playable race, at least not from the get-go. I could be wrong. They could throw a curveball and decide to surprise us with elves as a playable race upon release. But considering that the pawns and humans from a character creator and storage transfer over to the live game once you're finished and you're ready to launch, I'd say that's not the case. So I would imagine we're just going to be coming across elves and exploring them as a unique race and culture to interact with as we're going through the game, as opposed to something that we're actually going to be able to play. But those are the races that I'm aware of in Dragon's Dogma 2. Obviously, I'm continuing to learn and upgrade my information on this game, and hopefully I need to know as much as possible before the game launches, because I've played a little bit of the first game, done different playthroughs on different characters, just testing out different things. But things are so much different in this game from the lore of the first game that we're really all going to be on the same playing field when it comes to this. I've not been poring over the videos for the last 3 years like a lot of people have, so I'm just now getting up to speed over the next couple of weeks as we head towards launch. So hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to check out all the other playlists. I play a lot of games. We do a lot of things, TV shows, movies, etc. The daily streams. There's a Patreon. There's a Discord. Links are down below. I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe. Happy gaming.